So in this video, I just wanted to share a very quick but effective little editing tip that can really help improve your photos, or in some cases even save them. And I don't mean save them to a memory card or something, I mean actually save them from being a bad photo or a photo that's just no good. You get the idea. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and another video. So I am personally not really a fan of over editing photos, and by that I don't really mean like strong presets in Lightroom that drastically change an image, because to be fair sometimes they can be really cool, like with car photography and stuff. Really drastic edits are sometimes needed and can look pretty epic, to be fair, when they're finished. I mean more Photoshop style edits, so changing skies, replacing lots of things in the photo to the point where it doesn't really look anything like the original photo that you took. I enjoy taking photos and trying to get the photo in camera as close to the final outcome as possible. And obviously I do enjoy editing as well, but generally is quite minimal compared to some of those Photoshop images. And that's nothing against people who do composite photography and stuff, they are really good at it. It's just not my style. So I don't really use Photoshop too often, but it is very useful. And in this video, I wanted to show you a little trick that I use that can allow me to get the final result I wanted to get, but just couldn't quite get in camera. That may be down to just the scene itself, where I am, or the lens, or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to jump into Lightroom and just show you this quick little trick that I use from time to time to get the final result that I want, and I think it just helps improve the photos. Okay, so for any of you who've seen the previous video on the channel, where we went on a trip to Edinburgh, then you may remember this photo that I took at this crossroads. It was one of my favorites from this trip, and this is the original photo that I took. After a quick edit in Lightroom using our presets, just a quick little plug there, this was the result I ended up with. I really like the colors and just generally everything about the photo, except the one thing I didn't like, and at the time I was a little bit aware of, was just how close the peak of this tower is, how close it is to the top of the frame. I could have tilted the camera up a little bit to create some more room in the sky, but then I would have been losing some space in the foreground here, which I did not want. I wanted to have some foreground space, and also ideally some space above the, I don't know if you call this a spire or whatever, the top of this tower. As you can see, it's very close. Almost distractingly close, I think. And I wanted to fix that, and it's something that I do in photos like this from time to time if I want to make sure I have enough room in the foreground and space above. I was using the 18 to 55mm, so I could have zoomed out a little bit, and maybe I should have, but I did like how it looked at this focal length, which ended up being pretty much around 35mm. So I could have took it with the 35mm lens, but yeah. I had the 18 to 55mm in hand, and this is just the way I liked it through the viewfinder, but I would like to create some more space at the top here. This is the final result after some editing. Much better. Ideally, that's how I would have liked it in camera, a little bit more space, and it's just not as distracting with this tower being so close to the top. Anyway, I'm just quickly going to show you how I do that. So once you've done the edit and stuff on your photo, we're going to bring it into Photoshop. So I'm just going to go up to Photo, Edit in, and then Photoshop. My laptop is that full of raw camera clips from videos that it's a little bit slow. I'm sure you can all relate. Okay, so now that we've got the image into Photoshop, the first thing I'm going to do is just duplicate this layer. And then I'm going to come up to image here at the top and increase the canvas size. But because I only need it to increase at the top, I'm just going to increase the height just to something that I know is probably going to be too big. But that'll work. And then I'm just going to hide this bottom layer. And then just using the select tool, I'm going to select roughly where I would like the sky to go to. So something like that would probably work. And I'm just going to make sure that I leave a little bit of the sky selected, but not the tower. So something like that. And then just simply go to edit and content aware fill. And then just apply. My laptop is really struggling with the screen recording and Photoshop and Lightroom both opened. And it's pretty much as simple as that. You can see that because I left a little bit of the sky, it has now filled that whole area of selection with sky, and it just matches the gradient and color of the sky perfectly. And now I have a nice little bit of space between the top of the tower and the top of the photo. And obviously now you will have to crop the image again. Normally I just save it and then do my cropping in Lightroom again. The aspect ratio will obviously change because you've increased the height of the image but not the width, so that is something to keep in mind when you do this. It won't be by much, but it obviously won't be the same aspect ratio, so I would just crop it something like that. And now I have a nice gap at the top, and overall the image just feels more balanced to me and looks a lot better. I did say it was a very simple but effective little trick. It really doesn't take too long, but it really comes in handy for shots like this where maybe you don't notice in camera when you're taking the photo that there's such little room at the top, or maybe you're just using a tight lens and you can't move back any further. This little trick can help you just increase that space a little bit and just balance out the composition. I've used it on a few shots before. One that comes to mind during autumn, a shot of the tree, there just wasn't enough room. I believe I was using the 35mm for that one. I didn't really want to move back any further or include anything else in the scene, so I just used the same little trick and increased that gap from the tree to the top of the frame a little bit. It can also come in very handy for portraits if you want to increase the sky area, or if you want to maybe make the photo a little bit wider. It works really nicely if you're at a beach or something where there isn't really much detail. Obviously if you want to fill in a bigger space, Photoshop might struggle a little bit more and might make a few more mistakes, but generally I found it to be pretty good. So yeah, just a quick little tip I thought I would share with you because I found it quite useful. I'm sure a lot of you probably already knew about it, but for those of you who don't, it's something to keep in mind. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I'll try and keep this one as short as possible. So yeah, hopefully this one was helpful to you. If it was, give the video a thumbs up, maybe consider subscribing if you want to see more, and hopefully I'll be out taking photos in the next video. But yeah, as we always say, take it easy, don't be a stranger. If by any chance you would like to support the channel, the best way is probably to check out the presets, maybe purchase them and use them on your own photos. It goes a long way to supporting us and the channel and what we do. I'll say no more. Appreciate it in advance.